Alright, everyone. Now that we've established our plan to use OpenAI's GPT models via their API, it's time to explore an essential concept that underpins the functioning of these algorithms: tokens. If you've taken our introductory LLM course with Lauren Newbold, you'll already have a foundational understanding of tokens. However, we'll do a quick revision here to ensure we're all on the same page. Tokens act as the core elements for understanding language in the realm of natural language processing. They serve as the building blocks of LLMs, forming their vocabulary and enabling the models to interpret and generate text effectively. A token can represent a word, a part of a word, or even a single character. For example, the word running might be tokenized into run and ing. The process of breaking down a sentence or a chunk of text into these smaller units is called tokenization. This method allows the model to analyze the text in manageable pieces, making it easier to understand the structure and meaning. Generally, this is how OpenAI recommends counting tokens. Each token is approximately equal to 4 characters in English, or about 3/4 of a word. To clarify, 100 tokens are roughly equivalent to 75 words. For larger text segments, 1 to 2 sentences equal about 30 tokens. A paragraph contains roughly 100 tokens, and 1,500 words equal approximately 2,048 tokens. Each piece of text the model processes, including user prompts and model outputs, contributes to the overall token count. This token count is a vital metric, and it's crucial to be monitored closely in order to effectively manage and optimize the financial side of implementing LLMs in your project. Building on your understanding of tokens and how they're calculated, it's also important to mention the concept of context window and token limit. The context window is essentially the maximum span of text, measured in tokens, that the model can see or consider when processing input and generating output. For example, a model with a context window of 500 tokens can only consider the last 500 tokens of a longer text. If your input is 600 tokens long, the first 100 tokens will be outside the model's view and will not directly affect what the model generates. Token limit, on the other hand, generally refers to a maximum number of tokens that can be included in a single request and response. This limit might be set by the platform or service providing access to the LLM to manage computational load or costs. The token limit might encompass the total number of tokens combined in both the prompt, input text, and the model's response, output text. The distribution of tokens between the prompt and the response can significantly impact the usefulness of the interaction. Let's explore 4 different scenarios to understand the impact of token limits better. Imagine you're working with a limit of 4,000 tokens. In a scenario where the prompt and the response each take up 50% of the token limit, both would be allocated around 2,000 tokens, enough for a detailed prompt and a complete response. That would be your ideal situation. With a short prompt, say around 500 tokens, most of those 4,000 tokens could be used for the model's response. This arrangement suits cases where the question or instructions are straightforward and the desired output is larger. Conversely, a lengthy 3,000 token prompt would allocate just 1/4 of all tokens for generated content. The LLM would squeeze the output into a smaller response, which might not be satisfactory. It will tend to summarize the content, give a brief answer, or sometimes even provide incomplete responses. The least desirable scenario is having overly long prompts approaching the token limit because this can leave insufficient tokens for the model to generate a meaningful response. This constraint often forces the model to summarize content or provide incomplete, sometimes nonsensical, replies. It can even lead to truncated outputs, where the model cuts off mid-sentence or omits critical parts of its response. Navigating these limitations requires a strategic and careful approach to crafting our prompts. Our next lesson tackles another significant factor that directly affects our project's feasibility and scalability: the model's pricing.